Hello everybody, welcome to computerhandle.com. In this lecture, we're going to start off with the concept of flowcharts. So remember that in the last lecture, we had these little squares, which we use a Lego minifigure to navigate through from A2 to D2 or any other random point. And we even used the example as from A2 to D2, and we used to write, there's another color for this, we used to write up, up, up. Up, up, up. And now today, we're going to start off with how we can diagrammatically represent the sequence of a program. All right. So if I write, for example, a start to ensure that my program is starting, right? And an end to ensure my program is ending. All right. And we've got three ups. So we've got an up, then we've got an up, then we've got an up, and then it ends the program. So up, up, up. This is essentially the same thing written in this form, but it's diagrammatically represented. All right. Now, this ain't over. We've got some shapes over here. We've got some ovals and we've got some rectangles. Why ovals and rectangles? Well, this is where you need to understand what flowcharts are. So flowcharts are the diagrammatic representation of a program, and each of the shape means its use. So let's start on with the shapes first. Oval always means start or end. All right. Then we have a rectangle, which always means it's a process. All right. And up, up, up is a process. That's why we registered it on a rectangle. All right. Then there's another one we have, which will be used in the next lecture instead of this one. We have this is called a parallelogram. All right. And what it is, it's used for input and output data. All right, we're going to explain this to you in the next lecture. Then we also have something called as the diamond. It looks something like this. And this is essentially the decision maker. All right. It's the decision maker, and you can make decisions with this. All right, and then we've got a fifth one, which will be used way later in the video series. But for now, let me just tell you that this is called a function call. All right, so let's get started with the basics of flowchart and how they operate. All right, so here we've got the key, which we just discussed, and here we have another pieces of some squares with its own coordinates, and we've got again the same old Lego minifigure. All right, now let's recreate the programs we created in the last lecture. But instead of using the old temporary notation of this one, we're going to use flowcharts. All right. So let's assume that I want this from A1 to A3. So we're going to push on start. All right. An arrow to represent that it's moving forward. And then we have right. And then right again. And then we have an end. And time for the shapes. Start and end is always an oval or a circle. Let's create that. Then we've got a right, which we consider it as a process because something is happening. It is a process. We're going to create two rectangles like so. And here is the flowchart of the program from A1 to A3. All right. So let's start with another program. Let's use the same old obstacle we used previously. And let's suppose that this obstacle will move towards the obstacle. Let's suppose this minifigure will move towards the obstacle. All right. So let's suppose if the obstacle is here. All right. It could be here or here. Now its job is to catch the obstacle this time or to hold it. All right. How will it know that whether it's forward or in this way? All right. It will know whether to turn right or forward. How will it know? All right. So here we will create a decision maker program. The minifigure will, depending on the location, will decide which path to take, whether will it be the upward or the right one. All right. So let's suppose it's at A1 and it needs to go at A3. All right. So let's say start to our program. All right. Then we have the decision maker. All right. It's going to decide whether to move forward or right. And here we're going to write a little bit of question to see if it's a yes or a no. All right. So let's suppose the obstacle is in the A series. All right. It's in the row A. all right, or it should be in the one column. So in this case, it's in the row A. So we're gonna ask, is obstacle in row A? All right, we know that if it's in row A, it's gonna go, I'm gonna create a yes arrow. If it's in the row A, we're gonna go 2 steps right, this is the same thing. But if it's in row 1, which means it's not in obstacle row A, let's suppose there were only such 2 possibilities, and of course if it's not in row A, it's in row 1, all right, the vertical row 1, the column row 1. So if this is false, we're going to move to the no arrow, and then we're going to say up 2 times, all right. And then before we hang on end here, we're going to drag on another arrow from here and join it this way. And now time for the shapes. So we have a start and end as a circle. This is the process. We're going to create a rectangle here. The yes and no will not have any shapes on them, but this one will be a diamond, because remember, this is, well, a very bad diamond, but just assume it's a diamond, because remember that the decision maker is a diamond here. All right, so we have a diamond right so, and this is essentially the flow chart for this program. So so let's drive on it. All right, so start is obstacle in row A. Yes, it's in row A. It's gonna follow right, and now end, it's there. So let's suppose if it's here, all right, in row C. Is it in row A? No. So it's going to move up, and here we go. We got the obstacle. So the ability for the minifigure to decide whether to go right or up is what is the purpose of this decision maker, and this is just an example. In the future lectures, we're going to look at more examples regarding this. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you.